afternoon. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining me for the power of email marketing. We're just going to give it a few minutes and let everybody get into the room. Please let us know where you're joining us from, either in the chat or let us know. It'd be really lovely if you can just engage with us, drop some questions into the Q&A. I'm looking forward to this presentation and great to have you join us. Okay, let's see, we've got some folks coming in. Hi Tessa from Durban, good to have you here. Welcome everybody. So super to have you here. Let's see. We should wait a few more minutes. Hi Mandy from Cape Town. Hi Marcel. Gisela, thank you. Hi Irma and John. Fantastic. Okay, folks. Oh, yay! We have a very fun and excited audience. That's awesome. All right, folks. I'm going to get started. And thank you so much for joining me. Welcome to the power of email marketing. It's so lovely to be here, and thanks so much to Africa Travel Week for inviting me to host this session. Just some light housekeeping before we begin. Feel free to post your questions in the Q&A box. We'll have some time to go through those at the end of the session. And do remember that we will be sending a recording out. So thanks for taking the time to be here with me. So a little bit about me. I have been in the industry now for, gosh, 20 years. And I'm an industry member, an entrepreneur, a business coach, and most recently have joined the Transformational Travel Council as their ambassador here in South Africa. So over my career, spanning 2 decades, I've worked in many areas of the industry, travel agent, wholesale outbound consultant, inbound tour consultant, a product and marketing manager, a sales manager in hotels and lodges, and finally took the leap and opened my own consulting business last year, May. So I also am a travel journalist. My company, Scribe Consulting, looks after business strategy, digital marketing, sales ambassadorship, customer experience, and I'm obviously a very, very keen sustainable tourism consultant and a passionate conservationist. I also love traveling and meeting new people and learning about new cultures. So my company's strapline is putting passion to purpose, and it's what I do every day. So thank you so much for joining me. Some of my clients actually ask us to look after their email marketing. So it is my pleasure to share some insights with you. And so here we go. Let's get straight into it. Today's masterclass, you will learn about the why, the how, the who, the when, and the where of email marketing. By the end of the session, you'll understand how all these components cohesively contribute to your marketing strategy It should not be a standalone strategy. It certainly should be something that you build into your marketing, which is complemented by your social media and other marketing efforts like in-person networking. Not for now. In COVID times, we're mostly doing Zoom calls and these webinars, but essentially it should be very much a part of your strategy. For the purposes of this workshop, I will be focusing mostly on MailChimp, because it's one of the most widely used tools. It's something that we use in our business as well. And yeah, effectively, masterful email campaigns grow trust. It's fairly inexpensive, and it is a way for you to keep in touch with your audience and generate leads. Consistency is very, very important when staying in touch with your audience, and certainly staying true to your brand is very key when you are devising your email strategy. So get to know your email partner, such as MailChimp. Get to know, play around, and find out how their platform really works. Why email? It's a quieter space. It helps you to reach your audience fairly inexpensively, and it builds trust. It also is a great way for you to communicate your value proposition. For example, this is a parallel I like to draw. Email marketing is a bit like standing on an apron next to a Dreamliner. So if you're looking at social media, that noise that when you're standing on the apron is so loud, email marketing cuts through that noise. It's so much easier to reach your audience when you are talking directly to them. And it is a known fact that 138% of customers buy more than those who are not in an email relationship with a particular product. If you think about it, because you're already talking to them, you're building trust with them, you're sharing more about your company, and your audience knows you a bit better. We all like to do business with people that we know and we trust. So this is how you start. You're able to communicate your value proposition to your email, through your email to your customers, and it helps you to reach them and demonstrate why you would solve their problems. So how's everyone doing so far? Can you do me a favor? I'd like to know if you can just take a look at this picture. A little bit strange, I know, but maybe if you could just have a look at this color and have a look at what is happening in this picture. Just to make sure that everyone's still paying attention. Just remember how this color made you feel, and we'll talk a bit about it a little bit later. So if you're looking at the how of email marketing, there are certain components to it. So you've got your architecture, you've got your tactics, you've got testing and reporting. So architecture is basically looking at your subject lines, merge tags, branding, and images. So subject lines are so key to any email campaign. When you think about receiving an email, you often look at the email that's come in and you read the subject line first. Is it personalized? Is it not? If it's something that offends you, you either just delete it, archive it, or unsubscribe. So subject lines are really important. It can make or break your email campaign. Think about how your audience would like to be addressed. There are certain key tips for creating a good subject line. For example, the from line. So make it clear to the sender who the email is from, and be consistent with your brand's guidelines. Don't be too clever, don't be too quirky, don't use too many emojis. That can really put people off. You should really encapsulate what the person is going to find out from this email in that subject line. It can also be a call to action, which is really fantastic as well. And just understand, that people don't have a lot of bandwidth. So if you're looking at receiving your email on a mobile phone, you don't have that much space. So try and keep your subject lines down to about 50 characters or less. And that will ensure that it's not lost in translation just simply because it's either received on a mobile device or on a PC. There's something, that you need to keep in mind. Definitely try and personalize your subject lines. Studies have shown that between 15 and 18% of emails are open because they have been personalized. Remember, email is a fantastic way for you to reach your clients, and you're still talking to them directly. When you are looking at social media, it's, you're kind of shouting into the void. Whereas with email, people have hopefully subscribed to your email list and they want to hear from you. So take advantage of that and talk to the audience of one. So if you're wondering how to personalize a subject line in the email itself, you can also address the email with a personalized slant. So you can include a first name. So at the top here, you see personalization. This is an excerpt from the MailChimp platform, for example, which I've used quite readily in this presentation. So here you've got first name, last name, email, phone, and address. So all of these things you can actually build into your campaign. And of course, the first name is really important. I don't know about you, but sometimes I receive emails that say, "Hello, Amy Knight-Dawson," and it feels so impersonal. So try not to do that. Try and do your test emails before you send them to make sure that your emails are being received the way you want them to be received. Next up is images. So using images in your emails is very important. The reason I've got 72 up there is because normally you're looking for 72 dots per inch. So high resolution, 720 dots per inch. So you really want to make sure that your images are high resolution enough, but you also don't want them to be too heavy, because if they're too heavy, they're going to get trapped in spam filters, and that's going to be disastrous because your emails will not then be received. So if we're moving on from architecture to tactics, so tactics, one of them is sequences, otherwise known as drip feed campaigns. So if you're looking at this image that I'm looking at, this little video of honey dripping, that's exactly what a drip feed campaign should be. It should be sweet. It should be something that you're craving. It should be something that your reader and your audience wants to know more about. And most importantly, you should be keeping it coming. So please remember, with a well-built sequence, you've taken a concept, an idea, and you want to feed your audience more about it. The reason why you want to feed them information about it is because you want a call to action. You want to put them into your sales pipeline and you want them to take an action. Either you want them to sign up for something, you want them to buy something, or you want them to subscribe to your email list. So that is what a sequence is. For example, if any of you here have signed up to our Scribe Consulting Academy, so I launched this academy during the lockdown to help tourism businesses to get into recovery a bit quicker. And for example, if you've signed up to this academy, if you clicked on Meet Success, you will have been brought into a sequence. So the sequence basically welcomes you. So that's a really great idea to start with. Welcome your, your subscribers, and then if you can, give them something. So I've, spoiler alert, there's a little gift, sign-up gift for my subscribers, and it just is a little sweet way to help build the trust and also to help demonstrate your prowess, if you will. So here's a little landing page that I built, which is another tactic. Landing pages are really interesting. They are something that most email platforms offer, or websites, in fact. So if you have a website, you can go and build a landing page, and it's a great way for you to grow your list. You can create a landing page about almost every topic. One of our courses that we have on the Scribe Consulting Academy is a free course, and it's called Work from Home Online Security. And it is something that touches almost every business right now, as we all work from home in this time of COVID. And if you want to grow your list, why not launch a landing page? If you want to launch a product, think about starting a landing page. Here you've got an email address, a first name, a subscribe. You can put almost anything on this. And from this landing page, you can then build an email sequence, which is an entire campaign all on its own. So if you're having a look here, you can now see we're looking at social campaigns next up. So what we call social post integrations is something that happens on the back of your email campaigns that you send out. So once you've sent out an email campaign, you can then amplify this online on your social platforms. So all you need to do, this is an example of MailChimp, for example. You go to your campaign, all right? So your campaign that you have launched is your Scribe Consulting Conversations that was sent in September. Now I want to go and I want to do a social post. So I just go from there, I go across to social posts on my MailChimp, and I then go and start one. So it's really simple. You know, these email campaign platforms like MailChimp, ConvertKit, even most website platforms like Wix.com, for example, they all have these kinds of integrations already ready-made for you to explore. So they make it really easy for you. Everything's step by step, and there's also a lot of tutorials that you can go and explore. So that just gets the word out about your campaign that you sent out through email, and you can then shout out about it on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whichever of the social platforms you're on. So that's a really, really great a tool to know about. Next up, we're talking about A/B testing. So what is A/B testing? A/B testing is known as split testing, and it's a way for you to test your audience's receptiveness towards certain topics, and it also helps you to know what it is that, you know, how your audience is behaving. So maybe you want to test a particular topic and see if it's more popular than others. That's a way you can A/B test. You can take a segment of your audience and send a particular message to them. And then next time you can take that same audience segment and test a different topic. And then importantly, you must make sure that you have similar size of audiences so that you can really, you know, like for like compare apples with apples. So next up, we have reports. So reports are really interesting because I'm a complete report nerd. I eat reports for breakfast. I love them. I really enjoy having a look at a good report and mining all that data, understanding what it is about my campaign that worked, what didn't work. Here you can see an example of a campaign that I sent out, and when you go onto the report section, it helps you to understand how your campaign has been received versus others in your industry. It helps you to optimize your send time, how many is opened, how many have clicked, how many have bounced, and who has unsubscribed. What has been your successful deliveries, your percentage, and the ones that are not successful, that's obviously your bounce rate. So you need to go in there and perform, you know, your database maintenance. Here you can see what top links have been clicked and who have opened it, and then of course your top location open. So this is really important if you're looking to reach customers in a specific geographical area, because it helps you to understand how well you've done. Here, it helps you to understand, you know, what your geographical clicks are, and none have been registered yet. So you can go through all these reports, and all of these reports have explanations for each and every step. So it also tells you, of course, when most people have clicked, so you can really go and understand, when the best time to send is. All right, so here we are back again with a little flower. How is everybody feeling? Let me just check in with everybody and see how we are. Are there any questions we want to look at? How are you feeling when you look at this beautiful flower? Are you feeling positive? Are you feeling emotive? Are you feeling inspired? So this is also something that we also really need to bear in mind. And I want to just check if everybody's still with me before we move on to the next section, which is, of course, the who. So the who of email marketing is so important because we look at database maintenance, segmentation of your audience, GDPR regulation and subscriber behavior, and also growing your list responsibly. So we have somebody who has raised their hand. Let me just see if we've got somebody in the chat who wants to ask us something. Yes, okay, so what we'll do is we will pop your questions into the Q&A and we will have a look at those with you afterwards. All right. So let's move on. So did you know that up to 50% of the world uses email? There was talk a few years ago, maybe about a decade ago, saying that email is dead. Everything's moving to social media. In the future, people will only deal with one another on instant messaging or social media. Well, I think it's important for us to keep tabs on trends, but the truth is that email is still highly successful. The reason being is because it is still subscriber driven. It requires the person to opt in on the email subscriber list, and that is a very, very powerful place to be. When you are talking to an audience that wants to hear from you is a very rare thing these days. So it is important for you to make sure that your subscribers are GDPR and that they have signed up specifically. So database maintenance is very important, because if you are looking at your delivery rates of your email campaigns and you're wondering why you have these bounces and you don't go and do anything about it, you can actually get penalized for that. So it is very important for you to go and have a look at your bounce rates and look at whether they are what we call hard bounces or soft bounces. Soft bounces could be something like, you've got a misspell in the email address. A hard bounce is generally when those email addresses do no longer exist. You must go and clean those out, okay? Because if you are seen to be delivering emails with a high unresponse rate or engagement rate, you will be penalized, for that. So knowing which of your emails are being received and how they're being received, looking at your reports is how you're going to get this information. Also, the regulations, the General Data Protection Regulation, GDPR, is something that is on everybody's lips at the moment. And it went into effect in May 2018. It really regulates how people and individuals and how their data can be collected. So it is very important that you have these opt-ins, that your database is completely, with these signups in mind, that you haven't gone in contravention of any of these laws, because you can be reported for that. On every single campaign, for example, with MailChimp, you have a report abuse, section in your report where you can see if people have reported abuse. For example, if you've put them on a mailing list and they haven't asked you to do that, it can be very detrimental to your business and to your email campaigns. So here we have a case study for what we call omni-channel marketing. So now you've got your emails, you've got your market segments where you're talking to a specific group of people about a specific thing. This is something very important. You really want to make sure that the people that you're talking to on email are really receptive to your message, that you're talking to them about the right things. So, for example, you want to showcase your business. Say, for example, your XYZ boutique hotel, all right? And you are best known for your family vacations, okay, on Facebook. So here you now have promoted yourself on Facebook, but now you want people to sign up for your email mailers so that you can tell them more about specials, you can keep in touch with them. And, you know, so for example, what you're going to do is you're going to collect that data on social media, but then also you're going to speak to specific types of families in your email campaigns. You will maybe have young families with children under the age of 12. So the message you're going to send to those people is very different to the message you're going to send to people with, for example, teenagers. So that's an example of your market segmentation. So you'll have two market segments, one for young families, one for teenager families. And then of course you've got your your multi-generational families. So you've got 3 email segment groups now, and you communicate different and specific information to those groups. You might also, for example, speak to the B2B market. So you might speak to agents, or you might speak to tour operators. A consumer agent is probably going to want to receive slightly different messaging than a tour operator or a wholesaler. So that's an example of another segment. And you would slightly tweak your messaging to speak just to them. You will find much higher returns and much higher trust being built when you do segment your audiences, because remember, we're speaking to the audience of one. We don't expect for everybody to receive the same message and be moved the same way. So definitely consider that when you are building your email campaigns, and amplify it correctly on your social media platforms afterwards. These days, on, for example, Facebook, you can boost your posts quite readily, and you can actually choose the demographic that you boost your posts to. So that is very important to know, and it's an example of an omni-channel marketing strategy, which includes email. Okay, so you have made it about 2/3 of the way now, so you can high five yourselves. Let's have a look and see how everybody's doing. We're almost through all the content now. We're moving on to our last section. You folks are doing great. You stuck with me. We're not seeing too many people disappearing as yet, so thanks for that. So finally, we're looking at the when and where of email campaigns. So we're talking about reaching your audience specifically in COVID times. We're talking about consistency, and we're talking time zones. So you want to be very much your message received at the right time. So importantly, we know travel is largely on pause for now. We are very excited that our borders have reopened in South Africa, and we are seeing people coming back to our shores. Now, reaching your audience in a time of COVID is vital, okay? What you want to do is you want to build trust. You want to, reassure your clients that you're still around, that you're still there, and you're still thriving. So what you can do is, for these times, you can do landing pages, you can do specific email campaigns talking about, your special offers. And, for example, if you want to look at creating a landing page, this is how you would do that. So you would go into your MailChimp, you would have a look at all your different types of campaigns, you would click on a landing page, and then you would call it something. So for example, Africa Travel Week, landing page. Okay, if you have more than one account, you would select that in the drop-down menu, and you would simply begin. Most of these platforms have got templates for you to choose from, which makes it super easy. For example, driven by a goal, so a lead generation goal, accepting payments. Do you want to grow your email list? What is it that you'd like to achieve from your landing page? A landing page is something that sits on your, it gets sent out, and it prompts people into an action. So here you would put your lovely headline. It tells you exactly what to do in your box there. It tells you how to use that space. It gives you options for marketing positions, very important for your GDPR considerations. You can customize it with images on the right-hand side. You can see there. You can change your template to suit your purpose. You can go as image heavy as you want. Don't go too image heavy, because obviously you still want people to not get too confused. And then of course you've got your page title, your specific URL, your audience and tags. That's really nice to be able to tag your audience for your mailing lists. And so yeah, that's a really great tool for you. Next up, we've got scheduling. So this is a great tool. Scheduling an email campaign is a wonderful way for you to manage your time. It's also a wonderful way for you to bring people into your orbit and into your community. And also just to welcome them is a really wonderful way for you to actually touch base with them as a first step. Let people feel welcome, let them understand what you're all about. And these are scheduled email campaigns that you can do once a week, once a month. All you need to do is make sure that you are consistent. And this is why email scheduling is a great tool for you to harness. This is an example of MailChimp's scheduling campaign tool. And once you've sent it, it tells you, that it's gone. So you can then immediately start to track your, your opens, go and have a look at your reports, go and mine your data, and then maybe for the next campaign, you maybe want to schedule it at a different time, a time that makes better sense for your audience. So remember always to look at your reports so that you can actually do better next time. Importantly, your consistency is so important. When you are wanting to reach your customers, you must consider where in the world are they from. When it's a good time to send emails, generally they say avoid Mondays and avoid Fridays. Mondays, everybody's just trying to play catch up from the weekend. And Fridays, people generally check out, at least in their mind. Although things have been a little bit different over COVID, I think most of us have been in a state of pretty much always on. But there are times that have been shifted. In fact, now that most people are spending a lot more time on their devices, for example, in the old days, there was normally about 10 o'clock or lunchtime was the best time to send an email. Usually on a Tuesday was the optimum time. But now you're finding people are actually checking their emails a lot earlier and a lot later at night. So you can send an email at 6 a.m. and actually you might find that you get a great open rate because people are checking their emails first thing. Also, people are checking their emails just before they go to bed. And often that's around about 11:30 at the moment. So just again, have a look at your reports, check the information that's coming back to you, and definitely harness that. So do you remember I spoke about the flower? So here we are again. So this flower is just really to bring your attention to the fact that a really well-crafted email campaign is all about timing. It's about messaging. It's about simplicity, and it's about an unadulterated passion. So this, the vibrancy of your message needs to come through. Keep it simple. Don't go over the top. Just less is more. People, are reading slightly less than they used to in the past, just because there's so much. So keep it short, you know, and then every now and again, you're going to want to send a more meatier version, for example, which gives people, you know, insights into what you've been up to, new product information, and don't forget to repurpose. You can always repurpose an email campaign. So for example, if you've got a slightly lengthier version, there's nothing stopping you in a few weeks' time from that, just taking that one section and sending it out almost like a postcard. You know, on MailChimp, for example, they've got these postcards, which are a bit like social posts. And it's something that you can actually use to your advantage. It just kind of gets people's attention, and it's very it's very light, and it just shares a short messaging. So effectively now we are through the material, so thank you very much for sticking with me. If you've got any questions, you know, you can pop them into the Q&A, and I'd be happy to answer these now. I understand if there's some people that need to hop off. You know, we've done about half an hour now, so anybody who wants to stick around for the Q&A, you're most welcome. It's been wonderful having you join us, and thank you very much again to Africa Travel Week for inviting me to present on this important topic. And yeah, everybody have a great afternoon further, and thanks for joining us. All right, so for those who are sticking around for the Q&A, I can answer your questions now. So we've got, first up, we've got Classy Vessels. He's asked a question, can you also explain tags and groups? All right, so tags and groups are, tags are a way for you to, in a way, segment your audiences and kind of give them a label. So for example, if somebody has contacted me specifically only asking to sign up for the newsletter, I would create a tag in my in my audience called newsletter. If I've got somebody who has signed up specifically for my Scribe Consulting Academy, I will have a tag in my audience called Scribe Consulting Academy. That means when I send out emails, I can actually go and send it directly to that tagged audience. So when you are loading a contact in your audience, you tag them with a specific category, if you like. So I hope that that's answered your question. You mentioned groups. If you can maybe, Classy, just maybe explain a little bit more about that, and maybe just pop another a Q&A down so we can just understand what you mean by groups. That would be great. Thank you. All right, so Jackie Brownish, we've got, how would one know details of audience segments? For example, young children versus teenage children. So this is a great question. And Jackie, this ties into, for example, forms. So what you can do is, if you have sign-up forms for your audience, you can ask the question. So if you are a boutique hotel who is specializing in families, or you're a tour operator who specializes in families, and people sign up to your mailing list, so you've either created a landing page or you've got your form on your website to sign up for your email, you can ask the questions and have them tick the box and say, do you have children under 6? Do you travel with children that are between 6 and 18? So this is how you would actually get that information, by asking them questions on your sign-up form. Okay, if I have not answered anybody's questions to their satisfaction, you're welcome to post again, or simply email me directly. I will pop my details on the screen so that you can see. So these are my details here. If you want to write down my details, you can contact me for either Scribe Consulting or the Academy, simply by emailing info@scribeconsulting.co.za. You can also hop onto our website and get some information about it there. All right, so we've got here The landing page, Jackie Goodwin, thank you. You've said, I'm assuming the landing page is used where we don't have a sign-up option on our website, or is it an additional sign-up tool? Jackie, this is a potentially extra sign-up tool. So if you don't have a newsletter form on your website, which I think most people do, you can definitely use a landing page to gather more sign-ups for your database. And you can use it in addition, or you can use it as your sign-up form. It depends on how you want to use that. Okay. So we've got Ndumiso Mazibuko. What are the benefits of MailChimp versus other platforms? Okay, so Ndumiso, it depends really. You know, MailChimp have got different tiers. So you've got their startup tier allows you a certain amount of subscribers for the free version. So once your subscriber list swells to a certain number, I think it's 2,000, after that you have to actually pay for your MailChimp platform. They've got various, you know, each of them have got different attributes, and each of them have got different tools that you can use. Some of them have got really great resources, and you know, you really just kind of need to go and compare plans and have a look at what your specific needs are for your business, and go and have a look and see what fits you the most. So there's for example, ConvertKit is one of the newer ones. They are very, very good with their email sequencing. So they are best known for their sales pipeline, emails, and sequencing. So they're very strong on that. All right. So Marcel, we've got, I have an online shop and I can get all my buyers' emails through the commerce site of the shop. Is that against GDPR, or can I use these? They have not actively subscribed. Okay, so there is something where it depends on which platform you're using. It might be better for us to chat about this offline, because I'd need to understand exactly what shopping platform you're using and how exactly their signups work. You might be able to put a double opt-in into your shop, so that people do understand that their email addresses are being collected. You can potentially put on your when they are shopping on your site, you could put a compulsory box potentially that says you agree to receive marketing emails, and that in essence is what you call a single opt-in. Okay. So you say, how do I remove audience members who have never or hardly ever opened a mail? Classy. So this basically, you can simply delete the subscriber. You just literally go into your audience, depending on which platform you use. In MailChimp, it is under manage audience, and then you just search for the contact and you delete them. That's as simple as that is. So Classy, you also mentioned, I see there are two options to sub-segment groups and tags. I don't understand the difference. Okay. I might need to understand exactly your specific challenge. So I invite you maybe to just email me, Classy, and we can go through it together. Okay. So we also have Irma de Villiers. I have never used MailChimp before, but are keen to start. So before I send a newsletter, shall I first send a postcard asking, or can I create a landing page with the newsletter and ask for approval to send them a newsletter? Yeah, there are. I would say the landing page would probably be the most eye-catching, because it's very visual, and you know, you can with a landing page, the best way to do it is to say, answer their problem. So for example, your client is wondering what they need to do now in the time of COVID when they want to travel overseas. So you can say, download our quick and easy how to travel in COVID times guide. Sign up, get your copy now. And in order to download it, they need to sign up to your newsletter. So they have to enter their details into that landing page. So, and then you can do the double opt-in. You can say, I opt in for marketing emails, and I give permission to add my email address to this mailing list. And that's how you do that. Okay. Thanks, Irma, for that great question. Bianca Moret, do you know why on the reporting section of MailChimp, the stats tool total opened in the one block and then just below it shows it again, but the numbers are totally different? I think, Bianca, what we're going to need to do is have a look at that together, maybe. You're welcome to pop me a mail, and maybe you can just send me a screenshot of that, and I can help you look into that and diagnose that. No problem. Thanks for that question. All right, our last question is from Yulisa. What's the difference between open and clicks on the report? Okay, that's a great question. So an open is when somebody has opened your email, but normally in a great email campaign, you have hyperlinks in your email. So you would send them from certain text in your email campaign out to either a website, an offer, a partner website, a backlink on your own website, and that is where people click. So if they've clicked on those hyperlinks, if they've taken an action, that is a click-through ratio. You want a generally higher click-through ratio. That is what separates a great campaign from a mediocre campaign. Okay. Tessa Berman, if you have an old pre-GDPR list, is there a way to check if they still want to be subscribed? Yes, there is. Tessa, there is a way. You can basically take that database and send them a reconfirmation email. So, for example, MailChimp have some great forms that they have built into their platform that you can use to send out your database to say, just checking, you're still here, you're still with us, and you still want to hear from us. Please reconfirm your email address by typing it into this, this bar. And basically they do that, they click send, and that collects that information on your behalf and reconfirms that they are a GDPR friendly subscriber. All right, I think we have answered all our questions, and just a little reminder that if you are keen to get in touch with me, you're welcome to. Here are my details on the screen here, and it would be wonderful to hear from you. And thank you very, very much to everybody for joining me and for listening. And let me know if there's any further questions or comments. I'd be happy to engage with you on that score. So as I say, drop me an email, get in touch, and I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you very, very much.